And welcome back to the Wildest Ride podcast. We have another episode with Big Texas.
What's up, everybody?
And Casey Choo Choo Jr. over here.
I like that. I like that. Dude, we should chime in like the train
the little
noise with
sound
you.
effects. Yeah, Casey Jr. And then you pause for train horn. Yeah. That would be nice. Like old school radio, man. Yeah.
It's 2026. We should be doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? If they could do it, in the 80s in Hawkins, Indiana, then we can do it here. So, yeah, well, welcome back, folks. We are unfortunately missing our Lord and Savior Brian once again due to the California sniffles coming from our little rainstorm out here. So, hope he's doing all right, and we'll see him next time. But for now,
sure.
The two of us trucking ahead, following up our episode on Universal theme parks. We're going back over to Disney to talk about entertainment. Should Disney be focusing more on entertainment within the theme parks? Many different types of entertainment. There's shows, there's meet and greets, there's, activations, if you will, seasonal stuff. All sorts of things to discuss here, but we're going to kick it off. Lead us, Big Texas. What are your thoughts on Disney's entertainment?
I think they have a severe problem in entertainment right now. There's, that's a severe problem. I feel like back when I was a kid, that was the one thing that just stuck with me. Like attractions are timeless. Attractions for the most part, they're going to be there, but like a show for the most part, it should be about the same. But you get little tweaks of like whether that's a different actress, actor, stuff like that. Like stuff that sticks with me. I don't know about you, Casey, because I'm an East Coast guy. I went to Disney World growing up. Was the parades? Every theme park had a parade. Magic Kingdom had a parade. Epcot had a parade. Animal Kingdom had a parade. Hollywood Studios had a parade. I want to say about every visit that I went to Disney World, I'd kind of noticed entertainment was kind of cutting back more and more. You were seeing less meet and greet offerings at the park. And as you get older, I'm not really into the whole meet and greets, but the shows were something I was very much looking forward to. And one of the things I found that Disneyland did very well was the entertainment. For example, Mickey and the Magical Map. When I first saw Mickey and the Magical Map, that show just blew me away. I was like, dang, the fact that you're able to do this type of show in this theater, I thought that was very well done and creative. And then hopping over, I didn't get a chance to do Aladdin over in the Hyperion Theater. I got to see Frozen, and I thought Frozen was excellent. Just the whole the effects that we're able to do with production, plus with what's the word I'm looking for, with the singing and stuff like that. I like that they did blind audition. So Arden Nelson didn't have to be white. They could very well be black, and they went for pure like who was best suited for that job. Yeah. And I like that a lot. And then moving on to the nighttime, you had what parade? What parade's going on right now? And Paint the Night.
Paint the Night.
When I saw Paint the Night, Paint the Night's by far I'm not talking seasonally. It's the best parade I've ever seen. And then Disneyland Forever just also blown me away. And I kind of noticed every time we've been going to Disneyland, they've been offering less and less entertainment. And that to me is, I think it is a problem. Because not everybody goes to Disney to do attractions. People want to be able to watch shows. It's something different that Disney excels at, that they're like, hey, well, we're going to cut back due to budget. Because, in the long run, an attraction will save you money, by years. It's been shown that attractions will save you money compared to running an entertainment show. But I would like to make the argument that entertainment is what keeps people around, keeps people coming back for again. to seeing shows. Like things that I want to keep buying a ticket for, like Mickey's Not So Scary, is seeing the Booty You Parade, is seeing the Sanderson sisters, is seeing the fireworks, and seeing the special meet and greet offerings. I feel like, under this new administration with Josh D'Amaro, that that's something that I want to feel like they should highlight a little bit more on. It should be for families, and what I include in family is the young ones and the grandmas, the grandpas, that maybe don't want to do attractions. They just want to watch a show. And so I wish that's something that Disney kind of gets back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I think you had a lot of great pieces in there. Hard for me to keep track of which ones I want to start talking about first. I think starting with Josh D'Amaro, like you had mentioned, be really interesting. We're at kind of a crux here. I mean, anytime you're handing over leadership, brings in kind of a new era of Disney. Everyone talks about each of the the eras of Disney are the CEO eras, right? Like, and there's very distinct pushes within the theme parks, within their entertainment section, with the TV film studios, just their global branding and everything like that. Like each thing is distinct with the eras, and we've got started with a strong, I think, piece with words the last day or so, rumors that D'Amaro went back to the Imagineers and said the Villains Land at Magic Kingdom doesn't look up to snuff with what he wants. The quote, at least from the rumor mill, was go back, think big, amazing pieces first, budget secondary. And coupling that with what I heard a few months ago with Imagineers saying that the Villains Land is the most exciting project to come through Imagineering the past 25 years because it's the most open-ended with what Imagineers have creative freedom over, and being able to choose what IP they want to include here and there, not being strapped to specific ones, not being strapped to hitting a specific demographic or anything necessarily like that. So the freedom there from the creative side and his push to allowing the creatives to do so bodes really well with that. So transitioning that in entertainment, all the shows you had mentioned, Paint the Night's phenomenal. I, for a little bit of context, did grow up here on the West Coast and grew up with the Disneyland Resort. Went often, had a pass pretty much every year, thanks to my mom growing up. And entertainment was not something that we paid a lot of attention to. It was always rides, and then when a show starts, oh, the ride in this area will be less full, so we can jump on that, or things like that. Outside of Fantasmic at night, Fantasmic on the Rivers of America is my number one show of all time. I know they've gone through changes here and there, but just it would end every single Sunday with going down there, sitting out for an hour, just like feeling the entire day of running around and doing stuff and just sitting there enjoying the moment and then getting to see that whole show and the whole area come to life. And I think that one of the biggest things with entertainment, like you had mentioned, it's the reason why people keep coming back. It's because it's something that they're able to keep the most fresh with the theme parks. Like they're not locked down to an attraction, which they committed, $100 million to building, and the infrastructure is stuck there. And they got to wait at least 20 years before it depreciates, before they can even think about redoing anything with it. With entertainment, that's what brings the life to the theme parks, in my opinion. Like having characters walking around, like the whole point of going to these theme parks is to be able to escape from where, whatever world you got going on to the worlds that you love, and what better way to bring those worlds to life. And that feels most alive when you have live characters and live shows that take place in these universes and places. Attractions are great and they're timeless, but these are the things that you actually can interact with directly. And I appreciate that so much, even if some pieces of it I enjoy and some pieces of it I don't care for.
You get to live the story.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's popped in my head is the thing that's cool about watching, so growing up for me, the nighttime parade was the electrical parade. Seeing that as a kid, dude, that's where you get the magic. That's where you feel that Disney magic. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody gets it differently, but I think for me, it's watching that parade, seeing the characters. Like, dude, you don't get to see that living in Houston. You know what I mean? You see that at Disney World, you get that Disney magic. with
Yeah.
the parades. It just makes you feel a certain way in your tum tum. That's the only thing you get from. That's what you get from like entertainment. And getting less of that, you might not get that with the Jimmys, the Sallys that are say 5, 6 years old. Imagine when they're 20, you think they're going to be like, oh, I didn't have the best time going to Disney because they didn't get to experience that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's why they gotta figure out a way to get more entertainment into Disney.
Yeah, I think that a good structure for how each, theme park can be with standing on its own, having a nighttime spectacular, got to have it, and you got to do that big and good. How good Wondrous is taken over. I know you're going to say this is blasphemous. Wondrous is taken over Happily Ever After as my favorite nighttime
Oh,
fireworks show all time.
I have a take. I'm actually not
Yeah.
the biggest Happily Ever After fan, to be
Oh,
honest
okay.
with you.
Do you
I
prefer
like it.
Wishes?
Oh yeah. Here's
Yeah.
why. I'm just as thinking as a park ops guy. I think
Hmm.
Wishes did more for Magic Kingdom than Happily Ever After did, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you can watch Wishes anywhere in the park.
Hmm.
Happily Ever After, best suit you can only watch it on Main Street.
Yeah.
There's too
Um,
much going on with Happily Ever After. Where Wishes, the soundtrack was awesome and the fireworks were good. I don't need to get blown up. I think that they went a little bit overkill with the projections for Happily Ever After.
mhm.
I actually preferred. Do you remember Celebrate the Magic?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Okay, so when you worked at Magic Kingdom, was Wishes still a thing, or was it Happily Ever After?
I started my college program the week Wishes ended and Happily Ever After premiered. So I
Ah,
never saw Wishes in person either.
okay. So
Yeah.
Celebrate the Magic was basically the prologue to Wishes, and
Hmm.
that projection show blew me away. That was like this is like that made me feel like damn, like I get teary eyed and stuff like that. That was a really well done show. And then Wishes, just the soundtrack is just awesome. Happy Ever After, again, it's good.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it's great, but I think it's good. Like if they were to tell me today, hey, we're putting a new fireworks show at Magic Kingdom, I'd be for
Hmm. I wouldn't. I love Happily Ever After, and I worked.
it.
I worked many a shifts working Happily Ever After shifts, being the coordinator to close off all of the pathways leading up to the castle, working with the fireworks techs and crews and everything there. So I also have like there's one of my few like moments where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm here right now. Was with the back of Fantasyland closed off for the fireworks show for Happily Ever After, and we would escort guests that had Cinderella's Royal Table reservations to and fro, but they weren't allowed to walk within the courtyard unattended. And then during the show and for the 15 minutes after the show, they were held at those gates for debris and everything. But standing behind the courtyard with no one else there, just hearing the soft music of the carousel, getting ready for that nighttime spectacular and like the wow that these tens of thousands of people are all about to get that they've never seen before. Like it's the crown jewel moment of a Disney trip. And that is the big climax of the Disney trip, in my opinion. And that's why I think nighttime spectaculars are so important at each of these parks. Because if you think about parks that don't have nighttime spectaculars, Animal Kingdom, Rivers of Light is gone, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
there. People are done with that park by 4 p.m., 5 p.m. They go somewhere for dinner. No one's eating dinner there, right? Um, they don't even have Pandora open like at night when the land was built for the night and everything too. I know there's other things with the animals and everything there, but that park seems like a half day, and it seems like a lot's missing. And a nighttime spectacular holds that. Universal, we've talked about entertainment with them and stuff, and sometimes they have like the show on the Hogwarts castle, but it's not really marketed as some huge nighttime spectacular. But like that's something that I would be like, dang, if I saw more previews or little things about, I might be more motivated to go do that because I love Harry
Hmm.
Potter and all this other stuff, and that would give me a reason to stay at Universal the whole day as opposed to thinking about, oh, I just have to outlive the traffic, here in LA before going home, or go to City Walk to watch a movie instead of staying in the parks and enjoying
Right.
something like that. So like, yeah, big shout out to the Nighttime Spectaculars. Like World of Color, like you think about how good the OG World of Color is versus some of the iterations they've done over the years, to where you just completely don't care. And it's do I stick it out for the last 3 hours or so to have that final moment before we go home and deal with those huge crowds, or if it's not worth it, I'm cutting early, and that gets rid of multiple hours in the park and like a strong cap to the end of the day for your average, park fan that goes semi occasionally.
And I think entertainment also helps with, guest capacity as well. Like, if you have a
Mm-hmm.
show people can watch, that's about what, 15 to 2,000 people that are watching a show for that
Mm-hmm.
particular 30 minutes to an hour. That helps out with ride wait times,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Even if you think about it too, meet and greets help out with that as well, because people are waiting in line to meet certain characters and stuff like that. So that's something. I mean, I feel like they're doing good with like the meet and greets. They could always have more. You could say, but
Mm-hmm.
glowing issues that I've noticed at, say, more specifically Disneyland, is you're not really doing anything in the is it the Fantasyland Theater
Yeah.
where Mickey and the Magical Map was. They had the Lion King show, but right now I think the plan is for them to do something Bluey related.
Mm-hmm. You don't seem too happy about the most streamed television show of the past like 3 years.
I get it. I do get it. I don't like it, but I get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need something for the kids, so I get that. Okay, but
And it's near
when they
Toontown, and that'll help bring people towards Toontown because they're out there as opposed to thinking, oh, we have to walk all the way to the back of the park just for the little kids stuff. The parents aren't going to necessarily want to do that. They'll just stick in Fantasyland and then go back or whatever. But
what are they doing with the Hyperion Theater?
it's break room for security or some crap right now. They used it as a COVID testing spot. They had the Rogers the musical in there, which was a lot of fun. They only did it for 2 months, and that was it. Like, that was a waste. So the other half with the Nighttime Spectacular, you also have to have a marquee day show as well, and having that at the Magical Map, I think the Hyperion is more important than Magical Map, and if they have to pick one to start with, it should be Hyperion because of how many people they can fit in there, because of the underutilization of the Hollywood backlot in general right now. Obviously, they have Avatar coming in there, so that's going to reshape it. So maybe they're holding off because of that. But there were rumors of like a Hercules show in there for the last couple of years. And you see online, like Disney should leak entertainment news purposefully ahead of time to gauge public reaction before they commit money and resources to it. So that way they know what's going to be a hit, or at least what gives the appearance of a hit before they get into it that way. There's so much to do at Disneyland, and there's a lot more to do at DCA. It is a full day theme park, absolutely. But like Disneyland has more than DCA is and probably ever will. So having the big daytime show at DCA, I think would help bring more of the crowd to there and fill out that a little bit
Yeah,
more.
because you also Frozen had like basically 3 or 4 showings a day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are set times that you have to be there to see the show. You have to get there early because those shows normally did go to full capacity.
Yeah, they get full to capacity for like the early shows or like the noon show or something like that. And then the late shows you could show up last minute, but you're also going to get a medium to kind of half cruddy seat, but you'd be able to get in. So
yeah, that's the one theater I'm like, man, they gotta have something in there. Whether that's, I would be more for them bringing Frozen back.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen
would be great.
Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Tangled, whatever. Just something needs to be in that theater. You know what I mean? That like, I feel like if you got a building and you're not, and there's nothing in it, you're basically, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not utilizing that space properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be empty. There should be people in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think a good litmus test too is like, think about the launch and the lifespan of Avengers Campus so far. Like, imagine that land without any entertainment into it, or just like one meet and greet with Thor in the corner, and that's it. Like, that land would be kind of sad to walk through. You hear the Avengers music or whatever, but if you don't have the Spider-Man stunt show, which is a unique, thing there, you have the Spider-Man web slinging show, where he flies and everything, right?
I thought that was done.
It's done, yeah, but I'm just thinking about the beginning and the launch of the land. So there was that. Obviously, there's challenges with probably the cost of it, I would say, but also working with the reliability of that animatronic and wind conditions and things like that. There's a lot of things out there, but that show, the stunt show on the actual, headquarters building in the back, and then having all these characters walk through the land, but also as new characters become popular with a new release, then they bring them to there, and it makes it feel like it's a living, breathing thing because you have all of these. You can update entertainment a lot more than you can update attractions. And we love attractions and we love attraction overlays because they bring a new limited time, cool, fresh element to it. And entertainment is something that you can always keep fresh if you are committed to it. And that's what I think brings a little bit more of the life to the parks from that kind of perspective.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would even be more of a proponent, and I don't know why they don't do this. So back in the early 2000s, they were basically celebrating the 100 years of magic at Disney World, and every park had their version of a daytime parade. And I was like, man, that's something I miss. If they could do some type of daytime parade at Animal Kingdom, at Epcot, at Studios, bring that back.
Yeah.
That's I feel like that's something that people could be doing. Stage shows. I'm trying to think. I hate that they. Do you remember that there was supposed to be they were going to build a building on in Magic Kingdom at Main Street. Basically, it was going to be like Broadway style shows that were going to be at the Hyperion, but then they scrapped it. I feel like I kind of do understand why they scrapped it, because I feel like they said that logistically Main Street would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So how much guest flow would be going through there. But why can't they, I don't know, do something in Fantasyland? Put a building, put some type of Broadway style theater in there, or Frontierland, something that where people could sit down and watch a good show.
Yeah. And I think there's some of the more beloved shows or beloved things of the past are attractions, but they are basically shows. Like Carousel of Progress, for example. I know it's more of a deeper cut for people, unless you're, for fair weather fans of the parks and things like that. But if you go to the theme parks, you Carousel of Progress is up there as one of the top things to do in all of Magic Kingdom. You have Country Bear Jamboree, which just had its, rework of it. But that was something that was a beloved, type of thing. And that's more of a show-based thing. So there are show-based attractions, which I almost consider a part of entertainment. And that's something that I think they could do better on. If a park has a daytime show, a nighttime spectacular, a parade somewhere in the mix, whether it's a Paint the Night at Night or whether it's, one of the parades I loved, I don't know how many times you got to see it or if you did, but Magic Happens, which was the more recent parade that debuted right before the pandemic and then came back afterwards. That was a fantastic afternoon parade show. And it was good during the day and at night. So you would have showings at a 3:30, and then there'd be a 6:00, and depending on the time of the year, it would be dark for that one, but they had lights on the floats and stuff too. And that one, with the music, with the dancing aspect of it, and this is a very niche thing actually, because I'm going to criticize Disney parades for it. They put all their focus and energy and money into the floats, and they do not care about the dancers in between the floats. And that just makes it okay, we're going to look at this one thing, it's really pretty, and it's gone. All right, we're just going to wait, another 2 minutes for the next big float that they put money into. And, when people in between have some feathers on them and that's it or whatever, or LED glow necklaces, and they're just waving hi to the kids, and some person in a black leotard or whatever with some glow sticks on them, it takes away from it. But Magic Happens does so good because they put such an emphasis on the music and the dancers in between. And too much of, the relationship didn't work out great with Todrick Hall, with, lawsuits and things being filed at the end of that. But
That's just because Todrick Hall's not a good person.
yeah, but what he did with that parade was great. I was someone who did not watch parades at all growing up. The first parade that I would watch the Christmas Fantasy Parade at Disneyland, which is an absolute classic. So good. I would watch that. You mentioned Boo to You earlier. I didn't watch that growing up, but that is a fantastic parade too. And they're themed for the seasons too. So again, it feels fresh, it feels alive. And I think one thing I missed saying earlier, but I am saying now that I don't go to the parks as much, like, you feel the holidays and themes into theme parks, but the moment to where you're like, I'm experiencing Christmas or I'm experiencing, Halloween, is when you watch those parades, because that is, again, that like marquee moment. You can say that this is what it's built up for, and this is where the peak is. And that's all revolved around entertainment,
Yeah, I even missed some of the small stuff. Like they had the Citizens of Hollywood at Hollywood Studios, and as a cast member, watching them interact with people, I thought it was very unique, something that you don't see at Hollywood Studios, and it's just. I feel like Disney did the little things well when it came to entertainment. Now, like when you keep doing budget cuts to them, those little things no longer exist, and it's to the point like I do feel like you do miss a little bit of the luster, what makes that park special, or what makes just overall the magic of Disney that you got from entertainment.
Yeah, and it's tough because to the the dual sidedness that I have to that is I love having those kind of guerrilla style entertainment shows come up, and you can steer away from Disney IP and have it be like parks specific, like entertainment characters. Like you were saying, the Citizens of, our Sunset or whatever, right? Like their shows. You have Five and Dime at DCA, where they come in on the old school cart. They perform some like swinging 20s show with a beautiful vocalist and a cool band up at the front. That really sets the tone for the entire day. When you walk in and you see them there, you're like, oh, sweet, we're here. We're at Disney, because this is the kind of thing that's happening. Not because you look up and you're like, oh, Carthay, like that's a beautiful thing or whatever. Yay, I'm happy to be here. But when you have the Oogie Boogie Bash going on, and I even think just the BGM of the park, like that counts as entertainment too in my mind. And the BGM was transcendent for what it did for the theme park space there. But like on the Carthay Circle, like when it's Oogie Boogie Bash or in Halloween time early, they have projections on there. They have bats flying around. You can hear Oogie Boogie's voice going through there, and it brings the place to life a bit. I think the biggest issue with entertainment from a business standpoint is that it's not a revenue generating line of business. Attractions aren't either, but like merch, food and beverage, things like that, they bring people in, and entertainment and attractions are what you can kind of contribute to the cost of the ticket to get into the theme park, right? Because those are the two things that people come into the park for most. But how do you quantify it? And if it's harder for you to quantify, it's harder for you to justify specific things. And attractions, because they're a higher cost, they got to stay there. Entertainment's the only thing that is flexible. But in some people's minds, like both of ours, it shouldn't be flexible. It should be ever changing, but not like something that they can just get rid of and nothing will happen as a result of it,
Yeah. What's something you think that they could do to kind of fix this problem? Like what would be something that you would propose?
I think like having that structure again of, and I don't know what the economics of it is, it's just us talking about it. Having a nighttime spectacular, having a daytime big show, and having a parade. All three of those things within the day, because you're going to have scattered meet and greets or scheduled ones, with Disney's done a great job at. And it's a double-edged sword when it comes to the meet and greets. They built a lot of structures to house these people, or house the characters, right? And house these queues and get these people off of standing in the roads. Like the new Mickey and Friends meet and greet at Epcot in the middle there. Like that's a beautifully built little building there, and it creates that kind of like a fun environment as opposed to just seeing Mickey like on the side of the road and you have to stand outside and they have to cut his set time because of the rain or anything like that too. So it helps with that. The Elsa and Anna meet and greet as well there. Princess Fairy Tale Hall, both at Disneyland and Disney World. So like they've done a great job of being able to have the structure in place where entertainment and those meet and greets are now permanent. So the other things that are flexible, they need to just hammer away at and have that structure in each of the parks.
Okay.
And I think that's step one of it. Then that's just the structure. That's not the creative side of things. I think when it comes to stage shows, having each one last, roughly 5 to 10 years and then cycling to something new, even if something is beloved by people, I don't want to say get rid of it because everyone loved the Frozen show, right? And it hasn't come back or anything. But like now's your time. Just move on to the next thing. Like as much as you want to hit these cash cows with Frozen being so popular with Disney, there are other things that they can do that will keep it like a working movie set, like you were talking about. Like a working movie set isn't just the same thing over and over again. It's something new and fresh happening every day. So
you could do the next. Well, I don't. It probably maybe lost a little bit of its luster, but a Kanto stage show would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And y'all don't have nothing to Kanto over at Disneyland, like attraction wise. So that's something that fills a need right there. Like essentially plug and play.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you have because they are developing the Plaza de la Familia, I believe, over in the corner of DCA. Where the swings are and Corn Dog Castle is in the corner over there. They have their little park there where they do like live music with live mariachi bands are there as well. And then they have Viva la Navidad over there, which is the celebration of different Latin countries during the holiday season. That's an awesome show to watch. They're developing that, and they're, I believe, putting an Encanto ride out there. So having a stage show that would be able to happen and be
popular. Are you talking about Coco?
Coco, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Coco. Yeah.
Coco's going in there. I'm thinking of Encanto in Disney World, but like,
yeah, but Encanto would fit the need over at on the Disneyland Resort side. You could plug that in. That's still a hot IP. I believe they greenlit a second Encanto movie. I could be wrong, but like that's something that you could plug in. I love. Do they still do the daytime parade at Magic Kingdom? I mean, at Disneyland.
I don't know right now. I don't think so.
Brian would be perfect for this. The mayor of Disneyland.
I haven't been in a bit, and when I do go, I'm fortunate enough to get signed in from friends, and then I just kind of like follow what they want to do for the day there. But yeah, I grew up not really focusing on the entertainment outside of Fantasmic. And as I've gotten older, I've discovered more layers to Disney besides just the rides. You have dining experiences with sit-down dining, which is that could be a fun episode to do later on. Talk about the best table service dining stuff.
I love table service dining. That's my highlight of going to Disney is eating the food.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So like that's a layer. The nighttime spectaculars are a layer. The parades are a layer. Like there's all different things to experience there. And I feel like when you do a show really well for the people that are fans of shows and entertainment, they're the ones that spread the info with their friends, that post about it, that say, oh, it's worth the whole visit. It's worth staying, 10 hours in the sun just to see this thing at the end of the day. It's the perfect cap. Then that's the buzz that generates, the casual audience to be like, oh, well, all these content creators that I've seen are loving these shows. I might as well, show up to them and stay there for it and make the trip out there because I don't want to miss it while it's gone. I mean, they tried to play that business wise with Happily Ever After. They're like, it's going away forever. They've done it with the not Paint the Night Parade, but the Main Street Electrical Parade for years and years. In 1991, I think was the first year where they were like, oh, we're glowing away forever tour. They sold like pieces of, light bulbs off of the floats as a promo thing, but we're still getting Main Street Electrical 30 years later, right? So the limited exclusivity of it, well, also sparks action with entertainment. So along with keeping it fresh and not getting stale, you also have a way to push people to come out in that regard too. But if you don't have shows happening, or you just stick with the same stale show forever, then there's not the urgency for people to get out there, and there's not the freshness that brings it to life like you expect entertainment to bring the day to life there.
Last question I got for you. Do you think they're going to announce anything entertainment wise at D23? You think this is the perfect time to maybe kind of kick the can for entertainment now?
I think this D23 will it will be a bigger one than most because of Josh taking over as CEO and him coming from the parks background, especially Disneyland Resort, and then head of, parks and resorts for the entire company for, 2 years as he was just cooking, simmering up to be CEO, which I called like 5 years ago. Not that no one else had called it as well, but I was asleep, and my wife woke me up and was like, "Hey, they just announced Josh tomorrow as CEO." And I was half asleep, and I was like, "I called that 5 years ago," and then I rolled back over, went back to bed. So as exciting as it is, like major shakeups to come in the new era, and I feel like with this being his first D23 as CEO, like they have the perfect opportunity to announce a lot to capitalize on this excitement that they have going with the new era. So I think we're going to see some entertainment mentioned there, or at least like a guideline of like Hyperion. There's no way they tear down the Hyperion for Avatar. I think because they've said it's a portion of Sunset, is not being, or a portion of Hollywood over there is not being torn down. So I don't think that will get in the way, although it could. And I think we'll get entertainment announcements this one because we've had a lot of attraction announcements the last few years. So I think it's going to start rolling back over into entertainment.
Do you think they'll announce something for the Hyperion if you had to take a guess?
I'm going to say yes. I think the only way they wouldn't, or it would be a missed opportunity, would be if it's interfering with the construction, like power grids over there or whatever, like what powers the generator for the Hyperion is connected to what they have to shut off for monsters or whatever it is, when they get rid of that. But I think that we'll get a big entertainment announcement at D23 related to the Disneyland Resort specifically.
Do you think they might announce something for the Rivers of Light theater? I forget what the name of it's called. But
yeah, you're good. I didn't hate Rivers of Light. I know it was not loved by most, but I think that again, Rivers of Light had like kind of a loose, weird story, and it wasn't connected to any Disney IP. So whereas there's already less people in the parks, there's less excitement for it. Unless you have something that can like surprise you or blow you away. That didn't do anything. But if they had it based off of like The Lion King, or having almost crossover where like I don't know, Simba meets Ariel or some weird shit like that. I mean, Fantasmic's done like interaction of different characters, and I don't know how they feel about storytelling wise with having them interact with each other like that, but they've had a way to integrate multiple animal IP and multiple IP into Fantasmic, so I think they could do something similar to that.
I think they should try to lean more focus into something like World of Color-esque, but with animals.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I think they should do.
I think you're not using the space. You should be using the space. You got it. You got the infrastructure. Put something in there.
Why not just put a World of Color show there? Like something that's almost that they can market as this is, because they had water screens they utilized before with the Rivers of Light, and that was the main focus of it. But
yeah,
if they attach it to something they've already announced that is beloved, then it's a little easier for people to be like, oh, okay, this is my perspective going into it. It's almost like a World of Color, but for animals, than it's easier to win someone over on that. But I think
'Cause-
they absolutely need something at Animal Kingdom, especially with all the construction now that dinosaurs gone and everything too.
Yeah, you're having three new attractions come in. Really, I would say one new attraction, but you're getting something new that should essentially make that into a full day park.
Yeah.
Yes. The nighttime show would just be the icing on the cake. It would be like the top off. Now I have a reason to stick around.
Yeah, I think that would change the narrative of is it a full day park or not, like you're saying, because we have Rafiki's closing for Bluey out there. We have obviously all of the Dino Land down because that's getting redone. Right now, though, I mean, like I don't know how fast they could get a show up and running, but they need something now to fill in the space. They probably are just punting on it. The fact that they accept the fact that people aren't going to want to stay late and we can just save money by only having Animal Kingdom open until 6 or 7 p.m. each night and not have to pay people and maintenance and all that stuff as much to take care of the park.
So I believe those attractions are supposed to be opening up sometime next year. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think it's like 27, but from now until then, like we now have this like year to year and a half kind of window where there's nothing going on. And
But
they
we
might
have the
think,
time. But we have the timeline of D23. That'd be something perfect. Hey, we can announce this. So while kind of as one big like celebration, we got Tropic Americas, and we also have the nighttime show opening with it.
Yeah, I feel like they announced 2 new nighttime shows. One for Animal Kingdom to debut with the part, with this new rebranding or relaunch of Animal Kingdom. Which I think in turn as well launching a new show with a new land. If the land's beloved, then they might attach, the emotions of experiencing the new land as they go into the nighttime show and they're in a better mood and they're, so they can take the show in a little bit better, that they might feed off each other. But I think we get 2 new nighttime shows and a new stage show like at the Hyperion. But I don't know where that second nighttime spectacular does,
Where could you see anything else entertainment wise happening at any of the domestic parks?
Are
they touching? Okay, let's break. Do you think they're touching Happily Ever After anytime soon?
I don't think they're going to touch Happily Ever After for a few years. I could see them debut a new Disneyland nighttime show, though. A new Disneyland fireworks show. Because I feel like World of Color, they've tried new things here and there, and it has not really worked a lot with the variations. Everyone likes the OG kind of World of Color the best. Even World of Color 1, they had outlasted Wondrous when Wondrous was a better show. But Disneyland cycles their fireworks shows so frequently because they have the Hollow Wishes basically out there, or whatever it is, Halloween Scream, I forget the name of it, but they have that, and then they have their holiday overlays, and then they try and save a lot of money throughout the year because of noise complaints around, or not noise complaints, because they get fined or something like that if
because
they're
of the
shooting
neighborhoods.
Yeah, because of the neighborhoods and stuff. So they do Mickey's Mixed Magic, which has no pyro with it most of the time, and those like little music dance party type shows are what they have to just like get by that don't cost them a lot. And so I feel like a major bang would be we're getting a new nighttime show at Disneyland, we're getting a new stage show at DCA because those are Josh's home ground, and then we're getting something that will launch with Rivers of Light, the next year.
Okay. I have one thing that we can get out of here. I think because it is for the amount of time I've been here, I was like it was new, but I was like, man, I've been living here for 12 years. And Festival of Fantasy's been going for 12 years. Could that be something maybe on the chopping block for something new?
I could see that.
You think they're keeping it? Because last time I saw Festival Fantasy, and it could be more likely it was nothing. I saw that they didn't have all the floats.
Mm-hmm. I think I think that could be on the chopping block. I think we see cycles of 10 to 15 years with like beloved things. That's when they usually go outside of outlier scenarios. Like Wishes was there for I think 12 years or something like that, 11 years. And Happily Ever After, it's been 9 years now. So yeah, I think they maybe got 5 more years in their run before they try and do something different there. But yeah, Festival of Fantasy right in the mix there. And it's not like they haven't taken beloved things away before. It's Festival of Fantasy's beloved, but it's not like the marquee thing they can market, and bring people in. And they say all new daytime, nighttime spectacular show, because they have the nighttime show right now with I forget what it's called. I saw it when I was just down there briefly. But the pseudo paint the night, Starlight. Yeah, the pseudo paint the night. That was nice. I like that.
You liked
it fits the bill. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was anything like groundbreaking, but I think like having Disney World's own version of that kind of nighttime, very bright, sparkly thing, I think it's cute. I think it's decent. If you have like
that's a much needed add-on. I'm glad you brought that up. That was a much that's a much needed win for Magic Kingdom. I've been the same boat. I liked it. I didn't love it. The biggest part I didn't love about it was I don't like the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like Paint the Night, I could sing along with it. It's vibey, it's catchy. That it wasn't really catchy.
Yeah, I think music on parades is something that's very underrated. Now that you bring that up, and earlier I was talking about Magic Happens and how the music just like takes you to the place. It really sets the tone. So that's the biggest thing. Disney, put good work into your music and you got everything else will fall into place.
All right. So I have one more thing. I just thought about it. Okay. So a few years ago, they were doing a drone show over at Disney Springs. And they usually when they do stuff like that is they're testing something out, right? They want to get people's reaction, how they like it, or they just want to see how the logistics of how well it worked. I thought it was very good. And I know they do a lot of drone stuff over at Disneyland Paris. Could you see maybe drones being a possibility at Boat Coast?
Yeah, I think once more people I think it's definitely a cheaper alternative to fireworks, because fireworks are consumables and drones are things that you can use many times over. And program it in and everything. And even with wind and noise complications and things like that, it'll save money there for Disneyland Resort specifically. Yeah.
They had the drones into the fireworks shows at Disneyland Paris. So do you think that's something that they could incorporate? Like, hey, we're going to have a brand new fireworks show, but we're going to also include drones.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a better way to go to at least launch them, because drones are something that a lot of people still haven't seen their capabilities, know how good it is or anything like that. And if you're just like a new drone show, then, discourse could be, Disney's going cheap, or where are the fireworks? I want fireworks, But if you have a mix of fireworks and drones, then you get still the draw of the fireworks plus introducing them to this new thing. And if people are really loving the drone aspect, like if they take surveys afterwards, then people know their capabilities and could do drone only shows in the future. So
would you be for drones?
I'm for drones. Yeah, I'm always for at least trying what new tech you have out there and going for it and seeing what's, cutting edge. Like projection mapping was like, do we really want to do that, or do we want to just focus on fireworks and music? Like from Wishes to Happily Ever After, for example. The reason why Happily Ever After is so beloved, but like to your point and to other people's points, maybe it's just like a good show, but not like the S tier shows that we're used to, is because it was the first one to launch that new kind of medium and the new tech with it, and having all that projection mapping. Like it was a trailblazer show, right? And so that's why it holds higher regard. I think it's a little long, but it's also like my third favorite, I think, show all time at Disney, behind Fantasmic and Wondrous Journeys. So drones in the future.
Which Fantasmic do you like more, Hollywood Studios or Disneyland?
Oh, if you say Hollywood Studios, then you're just wrong.
Well, isn't the dragon missing over at Disneyland?
Yeah, because it burned down. But like, the dragon at Disney World has always
It's
just been
sad.
two metal arms and some toilet
It's so
paper.
sad. It's so sad. I'm like,
And
you know what? Just take the dragon down. Just make it Maleficent. Do her thing.
yeah, yeah, I will say Phantasmic, the updated version with Moana and a couple of the princess pieces was a nice touch at Disney World that came out like a year or two ago. Um, and Disneyland obviously is missing the dragon piece there. So right now, it's a little bit closer, but having it just come alive on the rivers of America, hearing that like light, the light posts rising, and you hear the musical intro to Imagination, and then Mickey appears, and you're just out there like it's not just like a show. It brings again the park to life. Like this is a place you walked around the entire day, but now it's a show. It's a theater. It's completely different than what you've experienced throughout the day, and I think that's a unique element to it. So,
All right. Do you have anything else?
um, one last thing: what's your favorite, like low key or underrated, or like thing that's not talked about, like entertainment offering? And I'll start to kind of give you a thing. Movie Magic projection show at Hollywood Studios. I
Okay.
love being a huge fan of live action films. Obviously, that takes a piece there. But I think about all the moments in cinema's history, right? And the different themes that movies challenge and how it connects people and all sorts of things, right? Like just the legacy of that, and to be able to see all of the biggest moments played on top of each other, that kind of tell a story of movie making. I think it connects really big to MGM and the origin of Hollywood Studios and the purpose of that. But just also how there's so much animation shown in all Disney. It was cool to see the live action kind of piece of it. So, love that show. Wish it played more often. Can't get enough of it.
I am a sucker for animatronic shows. I love them. I think they're so cool. Like did you see the news about they're bringing back Great Times with Mr. Lincoln? So basically, it's gonna be at the
Mm-hmm.
start of the day, and then at the end, basically, will be Walt.
Yeah.
I think all the audio animatronic shows are just excellent. They're like it's what started the parks. You know what I mean? And still to
Mm-hmm.
this day, they're so good. Like I love the Tiki Room. I'm obsessed
Oh,
with
yeah.
Carousel Progress. I'm obsessed
Mm-hmm.
with it. It's so
Yeah.
good. American Adventure over at Epcot's really good. I'd say this: if you've seen American Adventure, you've seen Great Times with Mr. Lincoln, but still see both.
Mm-hmm.
They're good.
Yeah.
Those
Absolutely.
shows for me. You don't have to have the human part. You can lean on technology as well, and I think those
Mm-hmm.
shows do a very good job. And I actually kind of wish you see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And a lot of those shows, almost every one that we were just talking about, are not like Disney IP specific. Their parks or American history or things like that, which is more integrated with the original, idea of the creation of Disneyland and things. So, real fun little piece there. But yeah, awesome. Well, hopefully we'll see something at D23 coming up. We'll be all waiting and hoping that Joshy gets on there, smiles. Some people, some ladies faint from those veneers that pop up, and he says, "Yeah, we're bringing entertainment
Did
back."
you see that? Did you see that picture I sent in the group chat of Josh Damaro in the Michael Eisner MGM Studios? Day one, I better see
Yep,
him in some type of, That's how I
retro
know.
thing.
Like, oh, we're back. We are so
Yeah,
back.
yeah. No, it'll be a fun time. Got a few months out, but excited nonetheless, especially with everything else going on, not entertainment related right now at Disney. So,
Yeah.
well,
All right.
it's been a
Take us
pleasure,
home,
sir.
Casey.
Stick us home.
Likewise.
All righty. Thank you for joining us. Big Tex and Casey Jr. out here. Looking forward to bringing Brian back next time and talking about more things that are pressing on our minds when it comes to Disney and Universal theme parks. Thanks for
Hell
joining
yeah.
us, and we'll see
Peace.
you next time.